Time for a malt review.
All right, you guys. We got another review here. We got a bottle. I'm gonna come up to the camera to make sure that you guys can see. But this is a Glenrothes bottle. Obviously, as you can see from the color, it's extremely sherried. This is a bottle that was for the Whiskey Exchange, bottled by the Whiskey Agency. If you're familiar with the Whiskey Agency, they're very known for bottling some really, really good bottles. And if you know the Whiskey Exchange, their bottlings tend to be amazing as well. Combine those two things, you see a 20-year-old Glenrothes bottled at cask strength at 51.3% ABV with this rich color. Obviously, there's a lot of curiosity there on what the quality is going to be like. We were lucky enough to get this right away off the Whiskey Exchange right when it came out, so didn't have to get it at an auction. Can't remember what the price was, but it was probably like a couple $100. I don't remember exactly. It is a vintage of 1997, matured in an EX sherry butt, and it does say natural color on there, which is nice to know when you see something this dark. And this has been breathing for a little bit. God, that color is rich.
Looks so sick in the glass.
Yeah.
Beautiful color.
On the nose.
It reflects. Wow. Dark, rich, mahogany.
And as the color suggests, it almost has a vinaigrette kind of color, and the nose screams rich sherry vinaigrette. It is so potent. The fruit is so condensed where it's become a vinaigrette of rich, dark fruits.
It's like I always say about good old Springbank sherry, the sherry vinaigrette. It's exactly what you want to put in your salad. Only it's so rich.
This is almost so rich and concentrated where you could mix it with olive oil and turn it into a salad dressing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It is so balsamic, so rich.
Wow.
Rich fruits, burnt toffee, dark chocolate, blood orange, dark cherries. It's like rich gourmet cherries covered in chocolate. Balsamic, rich fruit. I mean, this is...
And like cherries soaked in like old 1800s rum. Like,
definitely.
Almost like that, like regular fruits, but that aren't sweet or by themselves. They're mixed and soaked with other concentrated alcohol flavors.
Yeah, this definitely reminded me of orange oil, Grand Marnier.
Oh, because it's that level of density and viscosity, even on the nose. It's so thick.
Really, really unique. Awesome. I'm gonna dive into the palate.
I want to eat the glass.
I know. Don't worry.
Let's do it.
Extremely viscous. Drawing, but very oaky. To some, it may be a little off-putting, but I like it because those balsamic, condensed, rich fruits are coming out. That orange oil is coming out. It is very oaky, but I'm okay with it. It plays along. The cask is really taking over here, but it's providing a lot. Really rich, dark chocolate. Those cherries are coming through. That Grand Marnier is coming through. Really enjoyable, really condensed.
I'm getting like he said too oaky, and keep in mind.
No, I didn't say too oaky.
Not too oaky, but a lot of oak.
Oh, a lot of oak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep in mind, I think Narby's definitely more sensitive to like sulfur and sometimes too much oakiness. I'm actually getting.
I'm more sensitive to sulfur. You're more sensitive to oakiness.
Got it.
No? You think I'm more sensitive to oakiness?
I don't know, but like this guy, I'm more getting like a tiny, at first palate hit, a tiny bit too much alcohol, but then it goes away right away. And actually, for me, it's the perfect amount of oak. But it's more like it's like a campfire. It's like toasting marshmallows, making s'mores.
Totally.
Graham crackers, chocolate, barbecue in the back, and it's almost like imagine. This sounds really weird, but imagine kind of like the good sulfur note, like fresh matchsticks, but like fresh matchsticks that are like soaked in brandy or rum, or soaked in like fruit syrup. It's the perfect combination of these rich concentrated fruits and these kind of toasted oaky elements. At least for me.
That's definitely an element that I definitely didn't do it justice by bringing it up, because I was so concentrated on those balsamic flavors. I was so excited about sharing those notes.
It's complex.
But that barbecue element, it's totally the campfire with the marshmallows on fire, grilling, meats, barbecue sauce, totally has all that going. I'm not getting sulfur from this at all though. It's the whole barbecue element.
Oh yeah, well, not in any rotten way, but it's just like getting the idea of sitting around the campfire, smelling that fresh wooden oak burning, and combining like marshmallows and all these dessert, sweet fruit elements.
One more sip.
But like Narby's saying though, it goes back and forth, because the balsamico and the sherry vinaigrette is so delicious and it's so strong. That will suck you in, but then all of a sudden the barbecue element we talked about will suck you in. It's very complex.
Yeah. One more sip for me.
Oh damn.
This is really tasty.
This is nuts, man.
Here's the thing about this whiskey. If you research it online, it's very love-hate. There's no in the middle. Clearly, you can see we love it. One of my favorite reviewers out there is Ruben from Whiskey Notes. I'm sure you guys know him. I think he's one of the best ones out there. He didn't like this very much. I think he gave it like an 80 out of 100. Not that 80 is a terrible score, but he said it wasn't for him. I usually tend to agree with him, but I completely disagree with him on this one. So I bring him up because he says it's not for him. He says it's a little too driven by the oak, and the sherry just needs to kind of calm down a little bit. And for us, we do tend to love that style as well as the softer, fruitier, lighter fruit kind of style where the sherry doesn't dominate. This is very cask dominant, cask releasing a bunch of flavors, making it that balsamic that we said. But there are times where I absolutely adore a whiskey like this, and really, really crave it. So for me, this is definitely a hit, and the finish just pure balsamic, and those barbecue elements are just continuing going and going. So for me, this is a 91 out of 100. I love it. Highly recommend it. If you can find this.
And you got it for what, $200?
I think around $200.
My God, is it a buy for $200?
Yeah, it's if I known, I would have bought 10 of them.
Of course, it's like that, but how do you know?
Yeah.
And I like it a point better. I give it 92. And like I said, at first palate exposure, you get just maybe the tiniest bit of sharp alcohol burn. But again, give me that every day, because that ABV and that finish and that depth and complexity of flavors is unmistakable.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite Glenrothes I've ever tried. And I'm not going to sit here and say I've tried a whole bunch, but I've tried a few. Definitely my favorite one I've ever tried. So, awesome whiskey. You're going to have to find this at an auction. I don't think it's super expensive at an auction, but I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably going to be around $400 at an auction. And even at that price, I would recommend it if you like sherry monsters. where the cask dominates.
It's a monster.
But it's a monster of balsamic. It brings out some of those older sherry, funky style kind of flavors.
Yep.
So really, really enjoyable, amazing whiskey. And we'll see you guys soon for another review. Cheers.
Old style sherry funk, baby.